Hi, this is Hans-Eirik Hanifl for E-Commerce Gorilla, and today we're discussing URLs and your SEO. Now, when we're talking about URLs, we have to remember in a search engine results page, we're looking at two distinct facets. One is actual manipulation of the search results page. So how would a Google or a Bing rank a page? And the second aspect is once a visitor actually sees the page, or a searcher, I should say, sees the page inside of Google or Bing, what is their response to it? So when we discuss about SEO, always keep that in mind. There's two distinct facets. One is the algorithmic or the mechanical manipulation of it, and the other is the psychological manipulation of the visitor or of the searcher. So number one, your URL should be short and concise. The main reason for this is going to allow you to target specific keywords inside your URL, which will help in the algorithmic side with search engines, and also in the legibility side for a searcher. So for example, if you're selling red Prada shoes, your domain / red Prada shoes is going to have a lot more impact than a long string of describing a buckle and everything else inside that product. You don't want to use dynamic URLs. Many shopping carts, when you create a product, will automatically create its own dynamic, unique URL. So, for example, you would have yourdomain.com, $ product equals to ABC123, which is usually going to be your SKU or the identifier inside of the shopping cart. And the problem for this is, one, it has absolutely no unique keywords in that URL to help describe to search engines what they're going to find on that page. And the other is, it's not really human readable. It's not something that's going to stand out and attract the eye of a visitor as they're quickly scanning through those search result pages. So don't ever use those dynamic URLs. Instead, create custom crafted URLs that follow the intent of driving a visitor into the page. Each of the pages inside your site should have the same meticulous attention to the generation of the URL. Now, I know there's a lot of e-commerce merchants out there that say, well, I have thousands of products. There's no way that I can go through and create custom URLs. Well, the fact is, sometimes merchants sell too much. And if you really want to rank for specific products, you have to take the time and attention to optimize each product. Those products that you don't take the time and attention for are simply going to fall by the wayside. And that's just something that you're going to have to accept. It doesn't mean you can't have those products inside your store. It doesn't mean that you can't offer those services, but don't expect to rank for those. Unless you're the manufacturer of those products, very unlikely that you're going to be ranking well for those terms. You're going to encounter situations where you need to use a space inside of words. Now, the most common nomenclature and what's accepted on pretty much every search engine is to use a hyphen. So again, if we're looking at red Prada shoes, you do red Prada shoes. Don't come up with your own characters. Don't use underscores. Don't overthink it. Use what's accepted already, and don't try and reinvent the wheel. And definitely with the URLs, don't try and fluff them up, or don't try and be artistic. It's not going to help. It's definitely going to hurt your rankings. Also, make sure you have a thought-out plan to your URL structure. And by this I mean, if you do your domain and then just a / product name, that's fine if you have a limited amount of products. But if, let's say, you're a large sporting goods retailer, you have to put a little bit more thought into it. One way would be to break them down into brands. So let's say we were talking, you had yourdomain.com / Nike / running shoes, and then the product name. This would be a well thought out structure. It's going to help drive search engines through your product listings. It's also going to help lead the person's eye, so when they quickly see it on the search engine results page, they're going to know specifically that you are drilling into a category for their product. You're going to attract customers that are much closer to conversion, at least psychologically. So with these tips, I hope you'll have an idea of how to improve your URL structure on your e-commerce site. And remember, test, test, test. A/B split testing, very important, and watch your analytics because it's going to be an indicator of how well your changes are performing.